I've got to do that Jerk one next.
We have to?
Well, that was the plan.
That's right.
Okay.
We're now recording.
Okay, thank
Do you
you.
want to dispose of Duke's settings quickly?
Yep, so we're going to go to item 4.1, which is on page 477.
And move that day on the table till after the workshop.
Yes, you're going to move that? Seconded by,
Don't we have to receive the report?
can I
We're
please?
receiving it, it's laying on the table till after.
Okay, so you're making it a double.
So that's Murray, seconded by Daly. Thank you. All those in favour? Opposed? None. Okay, that's carried. So that's item 4.1. We're going to step all the way back to 2.1, which is our correspondence. I don't believe we've done that.
No.
Did you want break first or?
Nope, we're going to keep going till these guys have to go. Can I please have a mover and a seconder for the correspondence report?
I'll move it.
Thank you. Seconded by
I'll do that.
Tony. Thank you. Any comments? Did you want to?
Just looking at the Moloch waste bins in Peterborough,
Yes.
has a reply been sent? Do our councillors have any further comment on that letter?
No comments from councillors. Staff have an update?
As far as I'm aware, they've been waiting for Alan to get back to have more of a catch up on where we're at and where we're going with that.
Yeah.
We haven't had time to catch up with Alan on that actual process yet.
Okay, cool. So they will be replied to and process undertaken.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so item 2.2, community grants. I'm going to move over that side, is that okay? Just so I can see the board.
Okay, I just got up on the board, but I hear that there was a flashy spreadsheet yesterday. We haven't quite got that.
Oh. Oh.
So we're going to go with old school here, so
School board?
yeah, old school. So firstly, thank you to the board members who are helping out with your.
Yeah, agree. I agree.
Okay, so I just wanted to, before you kick off, just to make everybody aware that during the annual plan process, we did ask that our overall grant budget, which was at 40,000, we asked for it to be reduced to 20,000, but we asked for 6,000 to move over to the day camp under, what is it called?
Mercury Community Support Trust.
Yes, and that become the $6,000 that they receive each year.
Under a funding agreement, that's for the next year.
That's right, okay. And in that process, that $6,000 does move over, but we have ended up with $30,000 in our total grant budget. And we've had an application of over $70,000 for funds from over 20 applicants.
That's right. So I wanted to thank the board for giving me their indicative priorities. I thought the priorities, as you'll remember, one was the East Audit and full funding. Two is that we support it but maybe partially funded. And three is the last ones to consider. So we did have a couple, we've got 3 ones there, so I just wanted to do them first. And that was the Ampedo Bay ratepayers, which are asking for $1,984 for their dark sky signage. And I'm just asking the board whether they're happy to support that to the full amount.
Yeah, I am.
Yes.
Just one comment. I noticed in their application they had a quote from an Auckland company to do signage. I wonder if we could encourage them so they're using local signage companies and keep the money in the area.
Good point.
Very good.
Really good point.
I totally support that application.
Encouraged to use local, and so,
I think what I'm hearing is that everybody's happy to support them, but if we made that suggestion, I think that'd be really good.
so I support the full amount, 1984.
Okay,
Okay, the other one we had is one was Mercury Bay Netball, which was protection for the posts, for the upright for the posts, because they're a bit of a health and safety issue. The full cost was $7,049, they're asking for $2,000, so is the board happy to support
yeah, I'd be happy to
the
support.
full 2,000?
Just giving the running total.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so I hope,
That's the
hopefully,
way you calculate it.
I've asked Jen to keep me running total so I don't have to stress about it. The other one that you gave a number one, or the majority of you gave a number one, was nurturing young minds. And that was for the for hire for the event that they were putting on.
Yes, that's $400.
Yeah, it was just 400. Okay. So basically, the rest of them, most of them are either twos or threes. So if we just work through probably from the top down, Matarangi ratepayers, you've given that a 2, which to me says that you support it, but you might not want to give them the whole amount. They've requested $2,000 towards their usual summer carnival event that they put on each year for sort of through that holiday period. So they're asking for 2, costing $5,200. How much does the board support or not support that?
I agree with you too. I'm happy, well, me personally, for a start point, I'd start at 1,000, so then we can go back and go up if we had to, but if we decide on what they've asked for, we'll get halfway down this page and there'll be nothing left, so I'd say, for me personally, as we've said, this is for them to look after their fishing competitions and a whole lot of other things they do in that thing.
Going to
So,
the beach dig and all
so
that.
I'd say, for me at the moment, I'd say 1,000
1,000?
with an asterisk beside it, with a view, if we run out of money, we can either look at that, or if we've got the left over, we can add it to it, whatever.
So we need to reiterate that we're looking to invest 20,000 in grants, aren't we?
Which was the figure that we
That's-
originally.
yeah, that was the
had.
figure.
I just want that, yeah, no, I just want to make sure that's clear.
But you do have 30,000.
Yeah,
Should you wish
that's
to, should you wish to spend it. So, Bill, are you happy with 1,000 at this stage? Laurie?
Yes.
Jeremy?
Yes.
Ricky?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. The boating club have a request for help with their double trouble sailing regatta, and they're asking for $1,153. So,
I would totally support giving them that amount. They're doing a fantastic job with the kids out there.
So what was that total?
1,000.
1153, which is an unusual amount.
I'm supportive of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's some good maths for you, Jen. Got your calculator going with that maths? Okay.
6.5, so, but
We've got the bike park, and we had 2 applications from there, one for a sail and staging area, they were wanting $3,084 for that, and the second one was for track improvements, which they were after $2,840 for. The priority for this one was kind of a 3, so I'm thinking that you want to support them in some way, but not necessarily for the the staging area. So,
can we note that they've actually had 3,300 in the past? So that
they have had support from the board,
yeah,
yes. and
3,300. So
Yeah.
you know that colours my thinking what we should provide.
So maybe leave that one there, and how much would you give them towards the track improvements?
2,000?
Yeah.
Does everyone agree with?
Yeah, well, could I just add to that? Whether the bike park use the money for the shade or the track, leave that up to them. I wouldn't lock them into saying it must be spent on the track. They may think having shelter for the kids that are up there and the families is a higher priority. So for me, that's that. Or I just make sure we talk to them that in the event you turn up with a shade cloth and not track.
Okay, so let me put those together and
Yes.
just say it's either or.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my thoughts.
And now our letter can be sort of supportive of that we would
That
like
it
to
goes to
use.
one or other of
Yeah.
those projects.
Exactly,
Okay,
yeah, fantastic.
everyone happy with that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, community services trust. I had a 2 or a 3, so there was a bit of division in the amounts of prioritising that came back. So that was for materials to build raised garden beds, compost and veggie mix for a food bank at the social services property that they leased from council. So there's resounding silence on that one.
For me, it's a low priority to me.
Yes, I'm inclined to agree.
We come back to that one?
That's what
Come back
I'll
to it?
come back to, yeah.
Okay, at the end. The Royal New Zealand SPCA, they have applied to all community boards for their snip and chip program, which is desexing and microchipping of animals. They were asking for 2,500 from our community board.
Doesn't council have a similar program?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, so I think that I would support it.
They're competing for
Yeah.
existing services.
Okay, all right, that's fair enough. The Friends of Te Whanganui Ohai Marine Reserve, that was to provide the Marine Reserve program for the Thames-Coromandel schools in the reserve, and they're asking for $2,500. They have gone to other boards as well, because there's a multitude of schools that are on their waiting list for that, so.
Give them 1,000.
Heather, I did note that that'd been the other community boards. Have any of the other community boards done any grants?
Yes.
Yes.
What did they, we don't know the.
Yes, it is published.
I don't
know if anyone gave them money, but I know
Yeah,
they've
that was
given them
on-
grants.
I didn't check to be fair.
No,
No,
Te Whanganui Ohai.
The
Friends of-
Marine Reserve program for school children.
The Coromandel give them any yesterday, Alan?
I sort of sat in the background and turned off a wee bit when they did the grants, I'm sorry.
But of course, he's paying close attention to our grants.
And I did note that they did run a number of classes in 16 and 17, but not a lot during 18 and 19.
So for New Kennedy School, which is in our Mercury Bay ward, are on their current waiting list
Right.
to attend one of those.
I
What
support
about
them.
half of their requests, so 1,250?
So I'm happy, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kirsten's just checking that. She can't see that any other boards supported it at this stage.
I think we really want to support it, just
Yeah.
how much.
We can always
So,
come back
that's right.
to this if we
So-
need to move numbers
Yeah.
around.
At the moment, 1250.
I'm happy at that
Okay.
one.
Alrighty, Ballyfill again, there was a little bit, I couldn't quite come to a conclusion of what the priority was there, so
No.
you had 2 or 3, that's the newish group that has started up, and it was the purchasing of a food processor, storage boxes, mobile phone and 20 aprons for the amount of $1,231.70.
The reason I think we've got some mixed numbers there is and I kind of dragged it up to a 2 because I strongly support what they're doing and I think it meets the criteria very well. And I would personally like, if not to the full amount, to support them in some way, even if it's $500.
How does the rest of the board feel about that? Do you want to come back to that one, because it's got a 3 against it? Okay,
Yeah, I'm happy with 500.
alright, sorry,
500.
Tony?
I'm not going to get in the way of that. So it's not what I believe we should be spending our money on, but however.
Well, we can
And
put
I'm
it
aware a
through,
lot of that stuff's been done, as I mentioned,
we can put
Megan's
500 and come
already
back.
put all the equipment in there and did a lot of stuff around. There's a lot of things going in there, but yeah, 500,
I think we have we've got a history of supporting startups and we do tend, when someone's trying to start something new, to the benefit of our community to give them a bit of a hand up. So that's all I've got to say.
Murray, did you have any comment?
I haven't got any comments.
No,
Happy
Next one.
Next one, pickleball, they come up with a 3, they were asking for rent relief for the gym, which is an operational expense, but, and hire and Mercury Bay multi-sports.
They
so-
did get 1,000 last year.
Yeah,
yeah,
and they
but
did have
this
a
doesn't
startup.
meet our criteria, our grants
No,
criteria, is that right?
It's, they would be considered in staff's opinion as an operational expense.
Okay.
So,
It's a zero.
that's
Correct.
yeah.
Sea Scouts, that was fencing to secure their building site from vandalism. They were after $1,459.35. Priorities averaged out at, everyone was pretty consistent with the 3. So did you want to discuss that, or you've got a 3, so,
Well, yeah, I know, well,
oh yeah,
the,
I'll come
the
back.
security of the building site is really part of the building process, building cost. So that's
That's
all
an
built
operational
in
cost.
for that, so.
I also note that we've given, they're a fantastic organisation and we've given them a lot of support. I really appreciate what they're doing.
We can always come back to these 3s afterwards anyway.
We're just over the 2,000 mark, just for interest.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Dolly. The athletics club, they had quite a few things there, and annual facility costs were operational expenses, but there's other things there such as the discus cage and stuff like that. So they were asking for $4,450.
I think these guys are really providing something fantastic for a broad range of kids' ages. They're going to open it up to 10 to 18-year-olds this season as well.
So
So I think it would be great if we could support them for their discus setup. I don't know if everyone thinks to around the tune of 3,000K.
That sounds reasonable.
That's the number I've got.
Yes.
3.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sitting next to a human calculator.
Mercury Bay Waka Armour for their 5th annual event, the Cathedral Cove Challenge. They're asking for $3,258.28, very exact. And that was for prizes, spot prizes, food, basically event costs.
$1,000.
$1,000?
Yep.
Very decisive.
Yes, we are.
Pony Club again, a little bit mixed on that one. We had 2s and 3s on that.
$1,000?
They're asking for 2.
500.
500.
Everyone happy with 5?
Yeah, and I've revisited.
Yep, Te Pungaleo, they've got 2 applications as well. One of them is assisting with, they're hosting their event, that's their.
Sorry, what was the netball one?
Sorry?
We did that at the start.
Yeah, I'll beg your pardon.
Netball,
Yeah,
we
we
did
did
that
that first.
because they were ones, so they were.
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Yeah,
Got that,
priority.
thank you. Yep.
Will you tell me if you want to roll it? Yep, Dolly's giving me that as well. I think we're up to about
14,787.
14, right, okay.
I have a question around Te Pungaleo. Was there an opportunity to use the cultural and heritage?
Yes, that's what I was just going to say.
Oh,
So
sorry.
there's, so thank you, Dolly. There's the entertainment event and then there's the hangi cooker, which both are around 136 and the other one's 3845. We do have 10,050 in the natural cultural and heritage budget, which could potentially be used for that.
Well, I said on this one, like for me, Thames are ones that I've been involved in, they dig a hole in the ground and they do it in there. So this seems to me that this, well, that's what it is. This seems to me not something for that, it's a potential commercial opportunity to be able to go and set that up and raise funds through it, is how I would look at it, as opposed to teaching people about putting a honey down and how it works and how you maintain it, etc. So,
Except that it's not always practical to dig a hole somewhere, particularly in a reserve or somewhere like that. And most of the organisations that do provide honey do have a commercial cooker in order to do that easily and hygienely and, you know, sort of health and safety and all the rest of it now.
Again, for me, like the bike park where there was 2 applications, I think that I would like to support them and perhaps some wording around, it's over to them how they allocate those funds, but to the tune of about $2,000. How does that feel?
But hold on, just to clarify, are we going to take that from a cultural and heritage,
No, we'll take it from here.
take it from here?
Yeah.
Why can we not actually draw
Well,
from a
it
different
could be
fund?
no different. We can take it from here as part of this thing. Doesn't make any difference, but
But
it'll
I
be
can add to
money.
that.
Just another
We're going to be
depot.
finishing the the boardwalk and the bridge going into the reserve. And Ngāti Hei, I believe, have got some aspiration to have some
Yes.
some culturally based facilities in there that are going to want funding. So whether it be their food houses or whatever that is, to complete that and give that recognition to Ngāti Hei. So,
That, you're saying like keep this for something.
well, I just think that on a broader thing for the culture and heritage that is going to form part of something that's happening here now, is probably a more appropriate way of spending that money, given what has come through here in part and other discussions about what Ngāti Hei are doing in terms of the walk and how they want to
So
protect.
this could also be used just as another thing that had come up recently, and I kind of had in the back of my mind as well, is that the Soldiers Memorial Park is now officially a poppy place, the same as the Alf Simpson Drive, and
Okay,
we might need to have a little bit of budget somewhere just to help out with signage for that.
Agreed.
Just, so that's something else that would fit nicely into that funding.
thanks for
But
that.
that's
So-
something else to consider.
What was the proposal, if we were going to go with this particular fund, what was the proposal for Tūpuna was
For how much for that?
for
Rebecca said
2,000?
I put 2,000 out there, I don't know how everyone
Yes,
What's
feels.
it, what, $2,000?
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, I think just wording around for them to allocate.
So, so the group allocate
Yeah.
to whatever they want. Well, not whatever
That
they want,
brings us
either
to
either.
16,787.
16, sorry, 16.
787.
787, okay. So the Mercury Bay, we've already got nurturing young miners, Mercury Bay Swimming Club, they were asking for assistance with their Swim for Life program. And coaches coordinator Paul Hire, and that was $2,000 that they were asking for.
And we gave them 3,150 last year.
Yeah, I support it, I support the full amount, based on the fact that obviously where we live and our programs that teach our children how to swim is pretty important. I think that it needs to be clear that they pay rent to the trust to use that facility, including lifeguards, and I think it's a great program and we should be supporting it.
Yeah, I agree
Just-
wholeheartedly.
Just be aware that we give 40,000
To the trust.
to the trust, but it is part of community swimming within the district. It is part of community swimming down at that pool. So just think of your community swimming budget, you're now putting up to 42,000.
But this is a learn to
Yeah,
swim
I know, but
program.
it's all part of the same funding for the pool funding. And just be aware of what you're giving for the number of people. You're putting a lot of money into it.
One's a facility, one's a program.
It's a targeted program.
And the Learn to Swim program pays
You said
rent and
2,000.
lifeguards to use it.
Jeremy, you say 2?
Yeah.
One,
Yeah, I'm happy with it too, because it's a high voluntary.
Phil?
I had 2 on my list.
Okay, so 2,000.
two.
Thank you. Okay, the Mercury Bay Cancer Support asked to purchase a computer. You've got a 3 against that, everyone generally seemed,
For me, there was no quote, it was just a figure and there wasn't felt like maybe the application was a bit incomplete.
okay.
That's sort of how I felt, I don't know how
What was
everyone
it,
else felt.
Rita?
The cancer support.
There was no quote to support, it was just a figure, for a computer and things like that. So I felt like the application was a little bit incomplete.
Although I get a sense that we feel that they're a great organisation,
Oh,
they're doing some
absolutely.
amazing work. Did anyone have a computer that they could donate, like one that was up to spec?
We'll find it.
Yeah,
We might be able to find them a computer.
yeah.
Cool.
I'll just put donate a computer with a question mark.
Yeah.
The Mercury Bay Business Association, they have a significant
17,787.
request, $12,285 for costs associated with the night markets. So there was a consistent two from the priorities that.
I have a question through the chair about, are there any ways that we can help in kind? Is there any way that we can provide resourcing or?
I think certainly from the promotional side, I know the comms team helped get the word
It's
out
just
there.
sent out, we would ask you.
Yeah,
You know, in this road closure, businesses.
Dilly, that, we've already canvassed
council's
that.
got that,
We're canvassing
in
that
hand.
to whether we get some templates and help them. Yes, that's already been canvassed.
Okay.
but that won't be ready for
No,
a year.
No.
but it is being canvassed.
Yeah, so that's been looked into.
For my part, I'm
Milan is
happy,
here if you want to ask him any questions about it.
for one, I'm happy to support this in part to get the next one over the line, but at the end of the day, I take the compliance and we're working through that
Yeah.
at a district level, because there are two other communities have exactly the same issues. We're not very happy about, well, I said not happy about, there's got to be a better way around that. But at the end of the day, this is a commercial, the people that benefit the most are the people that are in commercial activities, and I want to know how much do they contribute to the overall thing. So the first one was arranging success, and I believe there's some business support in cash or kind for that.
Yes.
So I'm of a mind to get the next one underway, but I think the commercial entities themselves that benefit from this, we've got to be seen to see what sort of contribution they make towards their own benefits. So
Yeah,
I had a number down myself of $3,000
I'd support that.
to do our bit to get this one, the next one over the line, and then going forward, you know, we should be working with the Business Association. So what are we doing about compliance? How can we help on those things and reduce the costs? And we can find out more how much the businesses themselves contribute.
Yeah, so everybody's comfortable with $3,000 then?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it should be noted while Milan's in the room that it was a fantastic success, and congratulations to you and your team that put that together.
And businesses are being asked to put their hand in their pocket to help make this.
And we'll keep pushing around the council.
21,000.
Yeah, we're up to 21,787.
Okay, all right. Back to Heather, what's next?
Okay, so you're up to that 21,787, which is what you've come up with so far. The Autumn Reserves Group, they're looking at that little strip of land that comes off the end of the cul-de-sac, right down the far end of that. It's a little strip of council road or access way, and they're looking at making that safer to people with limited mobility. They're asking for 14,000.
Can I say that? So the reason the reason I'm going to be happy to have some of this budget left over is what I understand the Business Association are proposing to run 3 or 4 of these a year. Once we get through the next one, if we still can't resolve the compliance side of it, that we've got something we can go back to and take from our retained earnings to help that again. But you know, if we give a lot away, there is nothing to help out with the game.
We can take it out of last year's retained earnings. You can't take it out of
You can't have another bite at this.
No,
No.
let us go through the
But it actually
process.
can.
Well, not from my staff perspective, Murray, but that's, I'll leave that guys up to you guys.
You're right.
So do you want to support the Otama Reserves Group in any way with that?
I have a question whether or not, because I think it's a really admirable project, I think it's fantastic. Is it something that maybe Alan could answer this, that partially could actually go through a works program like we have with footpaths and things like that? Is the grant process the appropriate place for that?
The park staff have already met with them and with an engineer, which is how they came up with that figure.
Okay.
So I believe, sorry, Alan, that the park staff are happy to support them, but don't have budget to do anything or there at this stage.
So I think it needs to go through its course as part of the works program.
I do
Yeah,
too.
I think
I agree,
it's-
Danny.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
okay, so, yeah.
So what's the last item we've got?
Couple of Kiwi replacement traps that they lost during the last storm event, and they're asking for $1,488 for replacement traps.
Now, doesn't WRC have traps?
Yep.
Didn't they do that?
Well, we did have that meeting here, didn't we, where the bike park was asking about traps and
Yeah.
the gentleman in the public forum sort of said,
Yes.
Go to WRC.
Yeah. He said.
Can we go back to them and just make sure they've come to the right, that they go to the right place?
So
Okay.
support them,
Yeah.
get them, help point them in the right direction.
so direct them to.
WRC?
Because again, they're doing fantastic work.
Yeah,
And we really
absolutely.
support what they're doing, but,
WRC and DOC or DOC.
I feel like it's more WRC, but if we can just find out and point them in the right direction, that'd be great.
Well, our contribution to WRC includes managing roads and stuff.
So just having a quick look at that just before we move on. Is everyone comfortable with the amounts that they've put? You had one up here, you tagged up with a bit of an asterisk and another one with a question mark. But your total is 21,787 at the
I'm
moment.
happy with that.
Are you,
I'm happy with that.
Bill, you
Yes.
happy?
Yes.
Tony, Jeremy, Rika and Deli?
What about the community service? Is that the other one with the question mark?
Oh, yes,
My
sorry,
eyes
yeah.
fail me from here.
There was a community
Oh, yeah.
services trust with their garden, their community garden that they wanted to start getting up and running again.
What about some $500 for seeds and things like that?
What was that, what, sorry?
community
It's got a
service
question
trust
mark, we
with
said
the,
we'd come back to it.
The garden,
with the garden.
but raised garden.
Well, this is for more in the ground sort of.
Oh,
place.
that's what I'm doing.
All right, I'm that's,
I'm happy.
yeah,
How much? 500.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
Compromise.
Everyone comfortable? Rika, I'll leave it to
okay.
you.
All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, there being none, carried. Someone get a photo of that. Someone get a photo of
I
that.
have to take the last.
All right. On that note, do we want to stop for morning tea, guys? How's everyone feeling? You gonna take off in about 5 minutes?
Have you got your phone? Yeah, we got on the agenda that we could,
No, we've had 500.
and I've got
Have a cup of tea now.
Well, should we do license to occupy of the
So
bike park?
22.
Okay.
Should we do the license to occupy of the bike park?
22 choice.
We might as well, it looks like a question, doesn't it? Yeah.
Thank you.
Item 5,
Is that okay with you, Jean, if we jump around and do that? License to occupy at the bike park,
When was that?
page 481, item 5.1.
Hard to keep up with them today. Thank you.
All right.
I move that we receive the report.
Thank you, Delly, seconded by Tony. Thank you. Any comments? No,
It seems quite straightforward.
it does seem straightforward. All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Carried. Fantastic. That's done. Cup of tea time.
What would be the next item? Because I'm going to have to duck out, and so is Murray.
Community service awards, I'm happy to support that.
Or should we do that now?
I'm happy to move that.
Okay.
What item is it?
6.1.
Recommendation.
No, I'm happy to stay here.
So Murray's going to move, seconded by
Me.
Jeremy. All those in favour?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. That's fantastic. So that's that done.
Well done, Stephen.
Brilliant. Great report writing.
Thanks, Harry, for writing that report.
I think all the rest of them seem like they need a little bit of time to them. So
Yeah.
maybe we break for a cup of tea and then we'll come back to our usual programming, which will take us to the work program.
Okay, cool.
And then the reserves
I'm
management
happy
program.
with that.
Is that okay? Fantastic.
Appreciate the board's.
Fantastic. Right.
Right in the state.